Shalom. First, I'd like to give all praises unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Waharaka Kodash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and honors to you brothers out there in the highways and the byways, teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. And I was just watching episode 8 of this series called Ancient Apocalypse. They got a new season coming out soon with the Americas, which should be interesting. There might be some nuggets of information that might leak out in there. But basically, the series just goes into how there had to have been a previous apocalypse where, advanced civilizations were destroyed or whatever the case may be, which is true. That's in the Bible. Now Esau, he always gonna throw in BS in there and ice ages and all kind of crazy stuff. But generally speaking, overall, the idea of there being a previous civilization to the ones we know of now that was destroyed, right? Like you get the myths of Atlantis that was swallowed up by the sea. Well, there's some truth in that because you did have a advanced civilization that existed previously and was destroyed by way of water, and that was the pre-flood world. All right. See, Esau will tell you that there was a stone age, and I know this. No, it's all garbage, man. The Bible is against all that because even when you go back to the times of Cain, right? Let's get that. They were already doing metallurgy, which is the mixing of metals. Now, according to Esau, you had a Stone Age and you had an Iron Age, and the Bronze Age, which is metallurgy, didn't come till much after. Well, that the Bible is against that, which is why I tell you that Esau Edom purposely destroys the world's timeline in order to try and X out the Bible. All right. When you go into the book of Genesis, it tells you that and it says, and Zillah, who also bare Tubal Cain, an instructor of every artificer in brass and iron, right? And sister of Tubal Cain was Naamah. Now, brass is metallurgy. That's when you start mixing metals. That's going to more advanced technology. But you see, they tell you, look, they tell you that they had the Stone Age was 3.3 million to 5,000 years ago, and then the Bronze Age was 5,000 to 40, and then the Iron Age. Well, that's BS, man, because they are Cain's descendants, which was direct descendants, like they weren't far off from Cain, were already dealing with iron and bronze, showing you this whole idea of these ages and eras is really BS. There's no such thing as a Stone Age. Esau had to fabricate the Stone Age. That's what they invented, something called prehistory, which there's no such thing as prehistory, right? Prehistory, right? Prehistory up to 3.3 million years ago. No, there's only recorded history, and the recorded history is more in line with the biblical timeline. So Esau's just a liar. But anyway, you had a flood. Now that great catastrophe of the flood, there's evidence for that flood in the earth today, in the geology of the earth. All right, and that's a fact. But what happened was you had a dude named Charles Lyell, all right, who was a member of these secret societies, just like the Darwins, Cuvier, and all the rest of these demons that came around during the so-called the Enlightened era. These were all witches and warlocks, and they had an agenda to basically destroy the belief of the people in the Bible using so-called science. So these people in the scientific community would put forward theories, right, which would basically destroy the people's faith in the Bible, because you would have to choose what would you believe, science or the Bible, when in actual fact real science supports the Bible, not this false science that they created. So this guy Charles Lyell, as you can see, 1875, whilst at Oxford he became a Freemason in the Apollo University Lodge, a Masonic lodge for students and former students of the university, and he set up a book called Principles of Geology, which is where you get the ideology that all of the geological right, the Principles of Geology, which is where you get uniformism against cataclysm or whatever, however you say it. And so it basically, previous to him, it was understood that there was a great flood, so therefore all the major geological formations we see is due to the flood. Now he was like, oh no, it happened over billions of years through small incidents, right? They set up for a reason, right? So that they could bring in this whole ideology of millions of years, and then they can build evolution off the back of that. It's all lies, all right? Principles of geology. And so they mentioned this in episode 8 of Ancient Apocalypse. They talk about this when they were reviewing geological structures in America, and how this is a modern day thing to view it as something that happened over millions of years rather than happen via a great flood or an apocalypse or sorry, a cataclysm. All right. But it just shows you how much damage Esau has really done towards people having faith in the Bible by using the scientific community. All right. Because you can't believe in Stone Age and all that and still believe in the Bible. You can't. And what do they teach your children in school? This is science. This is proven when it's not proven. All right. So their agenda to destroy people's belief in the Bible has succeeded. That's why people believe in evolution. You can't believe in evolution and believe in the Bible and the Big Bang Theory and all this foolishness, which is false science. All right. But it goes back to Psalms 144, man. This right hand is the right hand of falsehood, man. Right? Psalms 144 and 8, whose mouth speaketh vanity, and their right hand is a right hand of falsehood. Right? Like I said, if you do your research, man, most of these chief scientists that came up with a lot of this BS, they were all Masons, they were all witches and warlocks. And like I said, they had an agenda, all right, to destroy the faith that people had in the Bible. And that's what's brought it into this modern era where most people just see the Bible as a fake book or a book of false stories. And it's because of them, because they basically during the Enlightenment period, they start uplifting false science, not knowing that these people that are spearheading it were witches and warlocks, Satanists. All right. Like I said, you got the Lunar Society in Birmingham. Right, these dudes, right, bunch of Masons, man, witches and warlocks, which Erasmus Darwin was one of them, and we all know who his grandson was. All right, now I'm gonna go long in, so that I ain't gonna go all the way long into it. You could do your own research, but I just wanted to point you in the direction of that of this documentary, and I can't wait for this one on the Americas to come out. You know, because they're probably gonna show a lot of the civilization that our brothers built over there, man, how great it was. You know, there could be some dimes up in there. But yeah, yeah, Lord willing, this has been occupied. Let me finish with one. All right, this is Second Peter's 3 and 3. It says, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers walking after their own lusts, and this is mainly because of Esau, and saying, where is the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of creation. For this they are willingly ignorant that by the word of God the heavens were of old. Like most people, even these goofy Christians don't really believe God created the earth, because they believe in evolution. They believe in these things which are pushed in the school system, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water, whereby the world that then was being overflowed with water perish. They don't really believe that. Even these goofy Edomite Christians that will go to church, they don't really believe that happened, because like I said, they've been conditioned their entire life to trust science, not understanding that, yeah, there's real science, no doubt, there's real science, because you can use real science to do real things. But then there's a part of the scientific community which has an agenda which is run by witches and warlocks. that push things such as evolution and all this crap. Dinosaurs were millions of years ago, all that rubbish there. I said, but the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word that these people don't believe in no more, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and the perdition of ungodly men. So this devil had a big part to play in the unfaithfulness of the world and the unfaithfulness of his people. Because like I said, prior to these devils taking control of the scientific community, the science and weaponizing science against the Bible, the scientists were pro Bible. They were pro what's written in the scriptures. They believed in the Most High. All right. Real quick, if you're interested in, I just made a playlist of a great educational series called Startling Evidence that Noah's Flood, um, Starting Evidence of Noah's Flood or whatever, right? It's from a channel that I made years ago, man, over a decade ago. And it's, if you're interested, you know, this guy here, he goes through all the evidence throughout the earth that shows that there was a great flood that's recorded in the scriptures, man. But Esau ain't gonna teach that in his school. They're gonna teach uniformity, or however you pronounce it. That's what they're gonna teach in the school system because they have an agenda to take faith away from the people. So if that, I'm gonna say shalom.